Hang on. Okay, I think now we're going. Hi there. I'm Janice Hanson. I'm chair of the Golden Link Concert Series, and glad to have you here tonight for our concert with Dave Rowe. Dave is joining us from Maine. Golden Link was founded in 1971, so this year we're celebrating our 50th anniversary, and it wasn't quite the year we were expecting to have for our 50th anniversary celebration, but we've still been doing concerts online like we are this one, and we have a Tuesday night sing around, a bunch of people getting together. We've been doing it on Zoom since March 24th. We get together and sing together and invite you to join us on a Tuesday night for our sing arounds. And I'm excited to have Dave Rowe here with us. Okay, I've got a cue that my husband's saying that the sound is working now. So we're we're set, we're rolling, we're ready to go. So Dave is joining us tonight from Maine. I first heard Dave Rowe, I guess I met you, or I heard about you, and I know I walked away with a CD at the Northeast Regional Folk Alliance Conference in 2015. So 6 years ago, I first kind of heard about Dave, and about a year and a half ago, I started hearing about this folk musician who was on a boat, and he was touring the Great Loop, and he was doing concerts and performing and doing broadcasts on the Folk Music Notebook, and he's telling about his adventures on his boat Stinkpot, and got me interested and started listening to his music. And when I heard Dave, I thought, the Golden Lake audiences would really enjoy his music. It's definitely right in the type of music that we like to do. And I wish we could all be together singing along with his songs, but I know you guys could be singing along at home. And we're going to have a concert, and then he'll be joining us for a reception afterwards on Zoom. Information will be posted in the chat periodically about things that you need to think of, and links to things. At the end of the concert, we'll put the link in there. But let's get the things rolling here. So please welcome Dave Rowe.
Why, thank you, Janice. Speaking of singing along, this is one I want you to sing along with. It's a George Wurzbach song. I'm sure probably Modern Man made an appearance at Golden Link at some point or another. He was in that group. I used to walk through this world, cautious and oh so serious, till the life I was living was nearly a near-death experience. Well, I changed my story when I finally saw where I wasn't where it was at. But now I'm alive, I let destiny drive, and I'm stretching out in the back. Come on, if I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. That chorus goes, if I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. Try it out. If I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. In the vastness of space, the ever-expanding universe, we are all puny specks of galactic dust down on Mother Earth. Well, I ain't no preacher, don't know if I'll reach ya, but here is some humble advice. Use your uncommon sense, and you surely will live an uncommonly sensible life. Here we go! If I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. preacher. Don't know if I'll reach ya, but here is some humble advice. Use your uncommon sense, and you surely will live an uncommonly sensible life. Come on! If I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. One more! If I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. I'll have a much better view of the moon. I'll have a much better view of the moon. Yeah! A much better view of the moon. What an optimistic way of looking at things right there. Always loved that song. I'm glad George wrote it. And while I'm doing songs from my friends, just a few days ago, we lost a folk icon, really, Mr. Kendall Morse, Captain Kendall Morse, one of my very, very closest and dear buddies. He was 86 years old. We kind of knew it was coming. He's been having issues with Alzheimer's the last couple of years, and anyways, this is for Kendall. It's a song that he called the Rockport National Anthem in honor of Rockport, Maine. And you better sing along. Up aloft, amid the rigging, blows a wild and favoring gale, like the springtime in its blossom, filling out each bending sail, and the waves we leave behind us seem to murmur as they rise. We have tarried here to bear you to the land you dearly prize. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home, come on, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land, to thee. Call all hands to man the capstan. See the cables run down clear. Heave away, and with the will, boys, for New England we will steer. We'll cheer up, son, bright smiles await you from the fairest of the fair. We remember all that treat you with kind welcomes everywhere. Here we go. rolling home, rolling home, louder, come on, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land, to thee. Full 10,000 miles behind us, and 1,000 miles before. Ancient oceans lead us homeward to our own New England shore. Newborn breezes swell to send us to our childhood's welcome skies, to the glow of friendly faces and the glance of loving eyes. Come on, rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land, to thee, and rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land, to thee. It's for Kendall Morse right there. My very, very dear friend. Well, it's hard to say goodbye, you know. He used to come out on my boat. We'd go out and sing songs on the waves. There's a song that I wrote following a long walk in the woods. Oh, that's why it's not working well. Let's try that again. Aha! There we go. I like to take long walks, and I happened to take this really, really idyllic walk through the woods a number of years ago, and I found myself coming upon this humongous maple tree. The type of tree that you can't get your arms around even if you tried. Probably 200, 300, 400 years old. Been there since the days of Columbus, you know. And I looked at this tree and I noticed that somebody had made an inscription in the side of the tree with a pocket knife. And it said, so-and-so loves so-and-so, true love always, that sort of thing. And I thought to myself, that poor, poor tree. It's, you know, stood there hundreds of years only for some schmo to come along with a Swiss Army knife and deface it like this. And then I looked closer at the carving. It had grown in quite a bit. It was a memory, and it didn't hurt the tree really at all. And I was thinking to myself, you know, that's really cool when you think about it. It's a moment frozen in time right there on the side of that tree. And it will be there hundreds of years more. So I wrote this song called The Lover's Tree. It's a summer night, The moon is bright, the stars they are dancing, and the fireflies are silver in the trees. Hear the thicket ring, the crickets sing, the birds are romancing, and we're sitting in a field on our knees. And I can hear you breathing my name. I can feel all the love in your eyes. And I know you can feel all the same. Those are feelings no hearts can disguise. On this holiday, the world will play, and we will be dancing to the music made by two hearts in love. And if you never see me again, if you're to leave me and never return, then I will hold this close to my heart. It's on a page that I never will turn. But I have no fear, for you are here, and I'll leave you never, together till the leaves finally turn. It's an autumn day, colors fall away, still that tree stands forever, where we carved our names the night that we met. In 100 years, lovers walking near will see us together. That tree's a memory that never forgets. And I can hear you breathing my name. I can feel all the love in your eyes. And I know you can feel all the same. Those are feelings no heart can disguise. On this holiday, the world will play, and we will be dancing to the music made by two hearts in love. The Lover's Tree. And now, to switch gears entirely, I'm going to take you to the coast of Maine for a minute after I have a sip of this, the magic elixir. There's an island off the coast of Maine, just about 6-7 miles off of York Beach, southern Maine, if you would, northern Massachusetts. That's really mostly what southern Maine is at this point. They let us have it all in 1820, and they've been buying it back one plot at a time ever since. I don't know what had happened there. But there's a lighthouse. It's on Boone Island. And Boone Island is a rock about the size of the rug that you can't see that I'm half standing on. It's just a desolate place right in the open. So when the winds come up and the sea's just howling, it just washes right over that island. It took the United States government 3 tries to get a lighthouse to stay on this island. That's how desperate the conditions are there. They built the first one out of straw, and then they tried sticks. And anyways, I think they settled on granite for the third one. It's still there to this day. And it's just such a dangerous place, really. It was the site of many, many shipwrecks. As a matter of fact, before there was a lighthouse on the island, local fishermen used to keep food stores on the island just in case they were the ones who got stuck out there. And that was probably a response to what happened to the Nottingham Galley, which was a ship that wrecked very near Boone Island with a loss of most hands. Those who did survive survived subsisting on one another as they each dropped like flies. So, anyhow, this has nothing to do with cannibalism. It has everything to do with a ghost story. Sailors still swear that they see the ghost of Catherine Bright drifting over the rocks at certain times of the year. Catherine Bright was married to a lightkeeper out there. They drew the short straw and got stationed on Boone Island as newlyweds. One hell of a honeymoon here, let me tell you. It's called the Keeper of the Light. Of Boone Island off the coast of Maine, your story's often told. How you drift across the boulders when the winds blow wild and cold. Sailors hear your mournful wails when squalls come up at night, and they know they're in the presence of the Keeper of the Light. Why do you walk these broken rocks forever, Catherine Bright? So many men we've seen you when the waters rage at night. A sad-eyed apparition, shrouded all in white, lost to time and memory, the Keeper of the Light. We all heard about your husband, he was the Keeper of the Light. How he drowned in raging waters on that fateful winter night. You kept the lighthouse burning strong to keep the sailors warned, and saved the lives of countless men the 5 days of the storm. Why do you walk these broken rocks forever, Catherine Bright? So many men we've seen you when the waters rage at night. A sad-eyed apparition, shrouded all in white, lost in time and memory, the Keeper of the Light. When they found you in the lighthouse, once they'd made it across the reef, you drifted into madness from exhaustion and grief. For 5 days without food or sleep, you kept the ships from harm. Then you sat down with his frozen, lifeless body in your arms. Why do you walk these broken rocks forever, Catherine Bright? So many men we've seen you when the waters rage at night. A sad-eyed apparition, shrouded all in white, lost in time and memory, the Keeper of the Light. Why do you walk these broken rocks forever, Catherine Bright? So many men, we've seen you when the waters rage at night. A sad-eyed apparition, shrouded all in white. Lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. You're lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. You're lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. Yeah, baby. Keeper of the light. A true ghost story, if ever there were one. Oh, I should have left it there. So, show of hands. How many people have heard of Schooner Fair? It's a band that my dad was in, also from the state of Maine. And they toured around a lot, did a lot of folk festivals, played the Calgary Folk Festival, and did a lot of work down in the Washington, D.C. area. So they worked so much in the Washington, D.C. area that people started believing that they were from there, as a matter of fact. Despite the fact that they had wicked accents just like this from Maine, you know. They'd say, "Can you understand me all right? You mind if I talk normal?" My dad passed away in 2004, and his two bandmates, they still continue to play, though not very often these days. But this is a song that my dad wrote. He wrote it about my French-Canadian heritage because he had none of his own. I'm half French-Canadian, as a matter of fact. A lot of people can lay claim to that up here in Maine because a lot of French Canadians came down from the province of Quebec to find work during the Industrial Revolution. And their plan was to work for a while, make some money, put it away, and then go back to Canada, buy a farm, and be subsistence farmers. Many of them stayed. I can't say it was probably for the weather, but maybe it was. The song's called Quebecois. My name is Levesque. I'm a son of Quebec. I'm a farmer and a Frenchman by birth. I am used to hard work and the sun on my neck, and I raised what I could from the earth. But now I'm a weaver in some rich man's mill, making blankets to earn a week's pay, to save toward a farm in our own country, 'cause we're going back home come someday. I'm Giselle Corriveau, and I'm joining my beau in spring when the log drive is through. He's a woodsman, you know, and I do love him so, and for him there's not much I won't do. So I sweat all day long in this shoe factory, just to put a few dollars away, to save toward a farm in our own country, 'cause we're going back home come someday. It is work, it is family, it's church, it is God. It is why we came here to this land, to make a new life and be what we are, the proud and the strong Quebecois. Proud and the strong Quebecois. I'm Gerard Fournier, and I cut wood all day in the spring. I'll be taking a wife. We'll go back to the land. It's our forefathers' way to nurture the earth is our life. And on Saturday nights we will dance and we'll sing, raise a glass to our family and friends. And it's Sunday to church and the solace it brings, and on Monday we'll start once again. It is work, it is family, it's church, it is God. It is why we came here to this land, to make a new life and be what we are. The proud and the strong Quebecois. The proud and the strong Quebecois. Oh, we are the folk who quietly toil in this new land of hope we have found. In the woods, on the sea, in the hard rocky soil, in the factories that clutter the towns. And we raised up cathedrals to the glory of God. They were built of our blood and our tears. And we made it through hard times and hunger and floods, and we'll be here for thousands of years. It is work, it is family, it's church, it is God. It is why we came here to this land, to make a new life and be what we are. The proud and the strong Quebecois. The proud and the strong Quebecois. C'est le travail, c'est la famille, c'est l'église, c'est Dieu. It is why we came here to this land, to make a new life and be what we are. The proud and the strong Quebecois. The proud and the strong Quebecois. The proud and the strong Quebecois. We are the proud and the strong Quebecois. Yeah. It's a Tom Rowe song right there. I'm rather partial to those. Miss my dad. So Janice mentioned when she was introducing me that I took a boat trip. I cruised the Great Loop. And I'll give you a moment to Google that right now. Excuse me. Figure it out. No, I didn't think so. Great Loop is basically circumnavigating the eastern United States. It's one long waterway, if you think about it. You get the Atlantic Intracoastal Waterway that goes from Florida all the way up the eastern seaboard to New Jersey. And then you jump across to the Hudson River and up the Hudson River and to the Erie Canal. You can take the Erie Canal, or you can go up the Champlain Canal and up down the St. Lawrence Seaway. The goal here is to get to the Great Lakes, and then you cruise the Great Lakes for the summer. And then in the fall, you cruise down the inland rivers. So the Chicago River and the Illinois River, to the upper Mississippi River, to the Ohio River, to the Tennessee Tom Bigby Waterway, which is part of the TVA, the Tennessee Valley Authority, that huge project that happened back in the 30s and 40s to electrify the heartland of the United States, basically, and bring power to places that just didn't have it, hydropower. So down through the TVA, through Kentucky Lake and the Tennessee, used to be the Tennessee River. This is all the Tennessee River. Down to the Tennessee it's easy for me to say, Tom Bigby Waterway, which takes you down to Mobile Bay. It's a series of rivers and canals and leads all the way to Mobile Bay, where you can pick up the Atlantic ICW again or actually the Gulf Coast ICW, and take that around Florida and then back up the East Coast again. It's a big loop, the Great Loop. And Stacy and I were fortunate enough to cruise that. And along the way, we saw some things that were just absolutely stunning. Things that you can't see any other way than by boat. I mean, it's one thing. People buy RVs because they want to see the country, right? And they'll tow that thing around and go to campgrounds and whatnot. If the thing's not floating, there are things you can't see in this country. And we discovered that. We saw some tremendously amazing sights. And one of them was, believe it or not, in Pensacola, Florida. We found ourselves, we were looking for a spot that we could get a boat slip for a month while we waited for the 30A Songwriters Festival that I was playing. And we got this slip, and it was in a bayou. It was across from a large marina. So, I mean, it's Pensacola. It's not exactly the wilderness. But in this bayou, we saw seabirds and dolphin and all manner of wildlife. It's just swimming up to the boat. There was a great heron that every night would perch himself on the dock right behind our boat and fish. And he'd just stand there. And a couple of times, because without getting into the more disgusting side of owning a boat, we used, when we were at a dock like that, in a marina with facilities, on-land facilities, we tended not to use the facilities on the boat. So I would get off the boat while he was fishing to walk up and use the facilities, and he'd just stand there and he'd let me walk right by him. I came within 4 feet of a great heron, and he'd just watch me. I mean, talk about things that blow your mind. So as we were sitting in this beautiful spot, and I had a month to reflect on all the places we'd been to get there, this song came out. It's called Before the Time of Man. Twilight falls, starlight calls, darkness chills the air, and far away the heart will stray, a yearning with no care. And through this night the winds might fight, though none the victor be, till morning light on western bight warms the rising sea. This scene has played 10 million times, it's seen by far too few. This life, this glimpse is but a flash to me. It's all so new. Tides rise and fall on granite wall, carved not by human hands, to count the days in ancient ways before the time of man. Before the bend where rivers blend, and brackish water churns. The trees reach out with weathered bough, the leaf that sunward turns. And through it all these eyes must fall on visions few will see, unbidden gaze through morning haze unto the frothing sea. This scene has played 10 million times, it's seen by far too few. This life, this glimpse is but a flash to me, it's all so new. Tides rise and fall on granite wall, carved not by human hands, to count the days in ancient ways before the time of man, to count the days in ancient ways before the time of man. Yeah. So that's pretty much what it was like. That's the Great Loop in a nutshell right there. Just beautiful. Just, I want to do it again. I don't know when, but if I can convince Stacy to go along with me, we will. I want to thank everybody who's making contributions to my delinquency via the links that Golden Link has been putting down in the lower third there. It really does help. Singer-songwriters aren't making a lot of money right now, especially without audiences, at least in the room audiences. This is as close as we get, and every little bit does help. So I appreciate that. And if you are also near to an establishment or an organization like Golden Lake, please help them keep the lights on too, because these things don't happen in a vacuum, and they're very special. They really are important to communities, and if it's important to your community, please help keep the lights on in these sorts of enterprises. It's vitally important to my mind. Anyhow, well, this is a historical number. I wrote about a grave in a cemetery. Not just any grave. The town of Gray, Maine has the dubious distinction of being the small town in the state of Maine that sent the most men to fight in the Civil War. And they have a large Civil War section in the cemetery to prove it. It's a town just about 20 miles north of here. I'm in Portland, Maine. So it's right up 95. You get off the highway there in Gray, and as soon as you get to the light, you're staring at a humongous cemetery. And in the middle of the Civil War section of that cemetery is a grave that's simply marked Stranger of the Late War. What happened? During the Civil War, if you lost a loved one in battle, there were two ways that it could go. You could pay the War Department to ship the body back to you, or you could, if you didn't have the money, not, and they would just bury him there. So there's a lot of boys from the north buried in the south at this point. Well, the stranger from the south buried in the north. What happened was, following the Battle of Cedar Mountain, Lieutenant Charles Colley was seriously injured and ultimately died of his injuries. And so the Colley family, being the family of an officer, they had a little more money, so they paid the War Department and had the body shipped back to Maine. And when the casket arrived, they did the unthinkable and opened it, and were shocked not to find their son in there, but a Confederate soldier still in his uniform. So they contacted the War Department and said, what should we do with this? And the War Department said, well, you could pay us to ship him back, which they thought was a terrible idea. So what they did instead, realizing that he was somebody's son and that there were people out there who were missing him, but they also knew that if they sent him back, there's no way he'd get to his people anyway. They can't even get them their own son. They had no doubt in their mind that a Confederate soldier going back through that system was not going to arrive home. So they buried him like their own. And the people of Gray took up a collection, bought a marble stone befitting a soldier. And to this day, on Memorial Day, they decorate that grave with flowers and a rebel flag. The song's called The Stranger. From that Cedar Mountain battle of 1862 came a fallen soldier's casket as the 10th Maine paid its dues. The grieving parents braced to see their Union son lay dead, but in his place they found a boy in Southern gray instead. As the tears rolled down their faces, they searched vainly for his name, but they never learned to journey to their village up in Maine. Without the funds to send him back, he was buried like their own, and there above his resting place they carved stranger on the stone. And the stranger in gray is lying there today, a misdirected casualty of war, surrounded by the ones who fired the Union guns. The stranger in gray will see Dixie nevermore. Fate must have a sense of humor as it winds along its way, for it sent that gray-clad stranger to a little town named Gray. But even when the real son, he was found and buried there, the town made sure the stranger was included in their prayers. And when the ladies place the flowers and the flags are left to wave, above the stranger's flowers a rebel flag flies on his grave. Now he lies with the others who in life he sought to kill. All the rifle fire has ended, the cannonballs are still, and flowers of blue grow softly by that stranger's marble stone, to show to all that blue and gray don't have to be alone. Yes, the stranger in gray.
Yeah, they're getting a picture, but still no sound.
I think we're back now.
Are we back? We're back? All right. Well, that's the good news. The bad news is this. I'm going to wrap this up in about 3 songs. I think we've done really well to keep it up this long, and we don't want to wear it out. If anybody has any requests, too bad. I think I know what I'm doing. No, let me know. Stacy will tell me. If it's a good one, I'll do it, and if it's not, I'll do what I was planning to do. All right. Here's a Stan Rogers song. She went down last October in a pouring driving rain. The skipper he'd been drinking and the mate he felt no pain. Too close to 3 Mile Rock and she was dealt a mortal blow. Then the Mary Ellen Carter settled low. There was just us 5 aboard her when she finally was awash. We worked like hell to save her, all heedless of the cost. And the groans she gave as she went down had caused us to proclaim that the Mary Ellen Carter'd rise again. Well, the owners wrote her off, not a nickel would they spend. She gave 20 years of service, boys, and met a sorry end. The insurance paid the loss to us, so let her rest below. And they laughed at us and said we'd have to go. So we talked to her all winter, Sundays around. Well, all spring now we've been with her on a barge lent by a friend. 3 dives a day in a hard hat suit and twice have had the bends. Thank God it's only 60 feet and the currents here are slow, or I'd never have the strength to go below. So we patched her and stopped up her vents, dog catching portholes down, tied cables to her fore and aft and girded her around. Tomorrow noon we'll hit the air and then take up the strain and watch the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Come on! Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. For we couldn't leave her there, you see, to crumble into scale. She'd saved our lives so many times, living through the gales, and the laughing drunken rats who left her to a sorry grave, they won't be laughing in another day. And you to whom adversity has dealt the final blow, let smiling bastards fly into you everywhere you go. Turn to and put out all your strength of arm and heart and brain, and like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again. Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again. Though your heart it be broken and life about to end, no matter what you've lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again. from the inimitable late Stan Rogers, right there. And speaking of people who were late, I'd like to dedicate this song to a hero of mine of sorts, Mr. John Prine. We lost him to COVID-19 last year, just a little over a year ago. And I had just appeared at the 30A Songwriters Festival, where he also appeared. And I caught part of one of his sound checks. And I couldn't stay for the show because I had to be in another venue. And at the time I thought to myself, well, one of these days I'll get to see John Prine live. I wish it could be today. It wasn't to be. But I, like most songwriters, look to the work of John Prine as absolutely fundamental. It is what songwriters want to do, to write like John Prine, to be able to bring that much emotion and that much detail and that much musicianship and that much, right down the line, to the craft. He was a songwriter's songwriter. And so when we lost him last year, it really struck me. And I felt I had to write a song for him. So I wrote this song. It's called A Toast to John Prine. Here's to John Prine. He put on his best suit with a tie tied just so. The jacket, the guitar, he swung out and low. He took to the stage with that gleam in his eye. Told us stories in song, told us how Sam Stone died. He's a national treasure, not of diamonds but words, that he married with tunes only he and God heard. Might have had a gold record if he kept souvenirs, but no one lives forever as this virus makes tears. Now John Prine is gone, he rode a road to the heart. His America mourns, we just lost our Descartes. A self-made philosopher, a seer with guitar. As the ink dries and the strings still, we all see his star. All the drunks on the bar stools are mouthing his name. The men in the coal mines all doing the same. Inside fancy buildings from LA to Hong Kong, the tributes are coming for the man who made songs. Now John Prine is gone, he rode a road to the heart. His America mourns, we just lost our Descartes. A self-made philosopher, a seer with guitar. As the ink dries and the strings still, we all see his star. Every song has a bridge when it stands to reflect. Somehow all of his bridges made us listeners connect. Now I'm a fool with a guitar. I write songs of my own. Every word, every nuance are from angels on loan. John found them from paradise to West Bethlehem. He wrote them down so we all might sing them again. Now John Prine is gone, he rode a road to the heart. His America mourns, we just lost our Descartes. A self-made philosopher, a seer with guitar. As the ink dries and the strings still, we all see his star. Yeah, song for John Prine right there. Well, I'm going to wind this thing up here. I'm going to do 2 songs. I'm going to do one, and then I'm going to take an encore because how else can I do it? I'm hoping for a standing ovation. Let's see how it goes. This is a song that I wrote a few years ago. I got an email from a folk DJ. And he said, Dave, on my show on Sunday, I'm going to be playing a few of your songs, and I hope you can tune in. And I thought, well, that's cool, you know, playing a few of my songs on a nice folk radio show. So I tuned in on Sunday at the appropriate time, and I listened. You know, this was over the internet because I didn't live in his market. And I listened. It was a 90-minute show, and he had loaded my songs onto near the end of the show. So I got to listen to the entire show, for lack of a better way to put it. And I was astonished at the fact that almost all of the music I was hearing, though it was folk instruments, guitars, mandolins, banjos, and such, what I was hearing for songs, it was all original material from these artists, which far be it from me, I play a lot of my own material, but I'm loath to call it folk music because it hasn't gone through that folk process where other people have learned it and you can walk down the street whistling the tune and somebody else will start singing it or whistling it too. I really think it doesn't become folk music until that happens. Before that, it's just nice original music. So calling it folk music is just, to me, it's just that one step too far. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love original music. I'm not beating up on songwriters here. I are one. Anyhow, so I found myself about halfway through listening to this radio show actually being a little upset with the fact that they kept calling this folk music over and over again. And I, at one point, yelled at the stereo. I said, "Your love life will never be a folk song," because that's what most of these songs were. It was the last nasty breakup the songwriter just had. One after the other, after the other. Your love life will never be a folk song. And it just occurred to me that would be an excellent hook for a song. So I wrote it. The song is called Folk Song. It's absolutely not a folk song because most of you have never heard it before. But I hope you sing along. When I get to the part that goes, "Your love life will never be a folk song," please sing that at the top of your voice. It may be tragic, the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. I hope you got that. It was special, you know, the world just has to agree. The way she looked at you when you were so cool with that guitar on your knee. From the very start she brought new songs into your beating heart. And she broke it, and we all know how she tore it all apart. Maybe tragic, the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. Folk songs have been around and sung for many years, sung by young and old in many kitchens, clubs, and theaters. Start singing one, and folks around you join in harmony. So that breakup song you wrote for her ain't folk, you must agree. Maybe tragic, the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. Maybe tragic, the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. Maybe tragic, the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. But your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. Or your love life will never be a folk song. Yeah. And that's exactly what I think of that. Well, I want to thank you all for joining me this evening for this wonderful, wonderful time. I want to thank the Golden Link Folk Song Society for asking me to do this. This has been a blast. Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Dan, for pushing the buttons and keeping us on the air. It's just been an amazingly fun time putting this all together and singing for all of you. If you are not on my email list, you can join my email list at daverowemusic.com, my website. There's a widget or two there where you can do that, and among other things. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to leave you with an old Canadian folk song. This is one you've probably heard before. Speaking of what defines a folk song, you know, I was saying how if you can go down the street whistling the tune and somebody else knows it, it's probably a folk song. So everything the Beatles ever recorded folk song. You know, that's sort of where we're at with this whole thing. And this song is no different. It's just a nice old Canadian folk song. So please join in. Hope to see you soon. I'd get up in the morning, the alarm clock's warning, take the 8:15 into the city. There's a whistle up above, people pushing, people shove, girls are trying to look pretty. Now if your train's on time, you can get to work by 9, start slaving at the job to get your pay. If you ever get annoyed, look at me, I'm self-employed. Love to work at nothing all day. I've been taking care of business every day, taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business, it's all mine. Taking care of business, working overtime. You get that? It's easy as fishing, you can be a musician. You can make sounds light or mellow. Buy a second-hand guitar, chances are you'll go far if you get in with the right bunch of fellows. People see me having fun, sitting lying in the sun. Tell them that I like it this way. It's the work that I enjoy, cause you know I'm self-employed. Love to work at nothing all day. I've been taking care of business every day, taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business, it's all mine. Taking care of business, working overtime. Get up in the morning, the alarm clock's warning, take the 8:15 into the city. There's a whistle up above, people pushing, people shove, girls trying to look pretty. Now if the train's on time, you can get to work by 9, start slaving at the job to get your pay. It's the work that I enjoy, cause you know I'm self-employed. Love to work at nothing all day. Hey, yeah, I've been taking care of business every day. Come on, taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business, it's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime. I've been taking care of business every day, taking care of business every way. Taking care of business, it's all mine. Taking care of business. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Golden Link. Good night.
Thank you so much, Dave. What a wonderful concert. I'm hoping someday we'll be able to have you in person and get to hear everybody singing along together, because these are all songs that our group would love to sing, and great stories and things we would love to laugh along with. So one of these days we'll get you out to Golden Link and get to do this in person. But for the now, this is just what we needed for tonight. Thank you so much. I want to mention before we go about the next Golden Link concert we've got coming up, because we are doing concerts through May. We've got a concert on May 22nd that's going to be a celebration of Golden Link's 50th anniversary. We've got about just a little over a dozen of musicians that are going to be participating in this event, telling stories about Golden Link and sharing reminiscences of what makes the Golden Link so special. So hopefully you'll tune in for that one. Check the Golden Link website, www.goldenlink.org, for more information on that. And we do have a workshop coming up. We also do some educational activities. A couple weeks ago, we had a sea shanty workshop, which was a lot of fun, but we have a workshop coming up in May with Scott Ainsley, who's a blues musician. He's going to be doing a voice workshop. So check that out on the Golden Link website as well. We'd love to have other people join us for these activities that we've got going on. And I'll put one more reminder about the tip jar, because we do want to make sure we keep supporting the musicians as much as we can, and buy their CDs and, contribute whatever you can for this concert. We'd like to love to put them on, but we want to make sure we keep supporting the musicians as well. And I think the link's already gone into the chat, but stick around if you're able, and go on to the Golden Link website for the link for the Zoom reception. Dave's going to stick around and chat. Maybe we'll get some more stories about adventures on Stinkpot and other things that are going on, and catch up with him and give you a chance. We can't have a gathering at the CD sales table where you could meet him in person. So this is the next best thing. So please join us for that. I think we're going to wrap up on the feed for the Facebook and YouTube, but thank you very much for attending our concert, and have a good night.